Hey friends, today I'm going to share a little bit about why I became an entrepreneur, why I'm still an entrepreneur, and well, some of the challenges and mistakes I've made along the way. Being an entrepreneur has completely changed my life, and I really hope that something I share today sparks something in you so you can change your life as well and experience the freedom that I have. So first, I'll share a little bit about why I even became an entrepreneur. It didn't actually start as entrepreneur. It started kind of more along the lines of side hustle. But let me back way up. I was working a job, actually a really good job. A job that I even actually liked. But day in and day out, I felt like what I did really didn't matter. It didn't have any purpose at all. And I traveled quite a bit and I wanted to be home more often. Problem one. Problem two is I felt like the company I worked for, what we did really served no purpose. So even if I were to change positions within the company, still I felt like what we did just at the end of the day didn't matter. We provided a very expensive service that people blew lots of money on, but ultimately it had no value, no purpose. Not in my world anyway, was it worth doing anymore. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted my life to matter. I wanted what I did to matter. The second aspect of this was I traveled and I wanted to be home more. Being away, the travel can be fun, but my family matters and I want to be home. So these two things really wore on me. So what I did was I started a side hustle. I did have the hopes that the side hustle would grow and create the money that I needed to be able to leave my full-time job. And that's what happened. So I started a side hustle. I really enjoyed what I did. And then I really put the wheels in motion to continue to grow my side hustle. My side hustle didn't take that long for it to grow to a point where it could replace my income with the money I needed so that I didn't have to do this job anymore that, well, although I liked the job, I just didn't like the lack of purpose. And my side hustle provided some purpose. I felt like I was serving a greater good. I was doing something useful. I could be home more often, and even on weekends I was around so I could serve in church more often. And I really enjoyed serving with people at church and doing things that mattered. So that is why I started my first side hustle and ultimately became an entrepreneur. That first company went on, and then over the years, I've done some other things and then built some other businesses. And these other businesses that I built started again more along like the side hustle route. They weren't full-blown businesses right out of the gate. I tested the waters with ideas and I would see how they go. Not every idea worked. But a mistake that I really made along the way was I found I was really good at starting these businesses. But that freedom that I wanted, that freedom to be with my family, started to disappear with the more things I started. I started building this job that I had to be at all the time to keep these things running and making money. Otherwise, they would fall apart. And that was a big mistake. See, there's a difference between creating the life you want, building the life you want, versus building a job that you have to go to. Well, if I'm just building another job, I felt like, what's the point to that? Because one of the big goals was to have this freedom to spend time with my family, to spend time with my kids. And that was quickly being eroded away by these companies that I had started. So I reached kind of this weird breaking point of, I didn't like what I was doing anymore. I mean, some people would look in from the outside and say, but Greg, you had like the American dream. Not really. The American dream, and my dream specifically, wasn't to work more, do more, and be trapped by a job that I created, a job that I essentially owned my own job. I mean, it was nice to not necessarily have a boss, but I mean, the company is still the boss of me because if the work didn't get done, if the bills didn't get paid, the company would fall apart. So that was really interesting. And I had this idea that if I was able to make more money I should, because I could provide more jobs for more people and provide more opportunities, and that was for the greater good. So for a little while, I really worked at this, building another company, building more jobs, building more. And the more I did this, the more I realized this wasn't really the way I was supposed to go. This really wasn't the right path. More money isn't good to anyone if I'm miserable and working myself and essentially even neglecting my family and other things because of it. Sure, people had jobs. Great. I mean, they could get jobs somewhere else. They really could. We provided services that were valuable. Well, other people could provide valuable services too. So at this point, when I really realized what was going on and realized I lost that life of freedom and that life of purpose that I had built, I started selling things off. I sold off a company. I sold off another one. I sold off a division. And it brought me back to, I really focused on selling off the things that didn't fit my original goal of having freedom from location, so I could be anywhere at any time. Freedom from specific time. I didn't have to be at work at a specific time. I didn't have to serve particular people at specific times. Yeah, there's deadlines and all, but I didn't have to be in my office between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. I had built this idea that I wanted more flexibility and more freedom in what I did. So I wanted location freedom, I wanted time freedom, but I also really wanted freedom to spend time with my family. You see, in life, your number one calling, your number one ministry is to serve your family. And if you're always working, you're not fulfilling that calling. Sure, you may be making money, and your money is important because it pays the bills and it pays for the food and it pays for the things you do with your family. But if you're never there, what good is any of that money? Because you're really neglecting what matters most, your family. And let me be honest, raising kids, they grow up really fast. You miss a year, you've missed a lot. You miss 2 years, you've missed even more. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to miss these years with my kids, with my wife. I didn't want to miss these years of being a father and a husband. It wasn't worth it to me just to make another buck. So when I sold these things off, like I said, I built freedom for my time, freedom for my location, and then freedom so I could be with my family. And now this is really neat because you can do this too, actually. It's not that hard to do. But now what I can do is I can be anywhere in the world, really, at any time. I can still do my work when I need to do my work, and I can still be with my family. I invest more of my time in my family than I do actually in the work that I do, and it's absolutely fabulous. The way you could actually get started in this is very much the same way I did. You start one side hustle, simple side hustle, something that you really enjoy doing, something that fulfills a purpose and that you have desire and passion for. You start that side hustle, but be careful to not let it overconsume you. Now, as that side hustle grows, you'll have the ability to replace your full-time income by building the side hustle into your full-time income. And you can build your side hustle around the lifestyle that you are trying to build for yourself and your family. So this is why I did it. This is why I'm where I am today. And the reason I continue to be an entrepreneur and to do this is because it is so important to me to have that freedom so that I can serve my purpose. 1, I serve my family. 2, I serve within my church. 3, I do serve my customers, and I serve them a valuable resource that I can do on my time, in my location, no matter where I am. I hope this was helpful for you just to get a little glimpse into what my life of entrepreneurship has looked like and why it might actually be a great solution for you. No, my life has not always gone as planned. There are ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, but even with a regular job, there are roller coasters. There are tighter seasons. There are seasons of plenty. That happens. And when you go out on your own, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to have some seasons that are a little bit tight, some seasons of plenty, but in the end, it is really worth it. And if you're doing What is God honoring with your life? Honoring Him by fulfilling that purpose of and that calling on your life to serve your family, to serve Him, and to do what honors Him, it will work out. That doesn't mean it will always be super comfortable. No, it doesn't mean that. But God will provide for you. I guarantee that. He says in the Bible that He will do that. So I really encourage you to take an honest look at yourself and your life. Are you fulfilling your purpose? Are you fulfilling God's purpose for your life? If not, I encourage you to take a look at what that next step would be so that you can change direction to be able to do that. Because life is so much better when you're fulfilling your purpose, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Are you fulfilling your purpose? Are you doing what you love doing and also spending time with your family and serving the way God has called you to serve? I really want to know. Go ahead and comment down below. Hey, if you've got a side hustle you're thinking about starting, I'd also love to hear what that is. I would love for you to write that in the comments. I would love to hear more about you and what you're doing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope this encouraged you to consider starting a side hustle and building a life of freedom for yourself. I look forward to seeing you in our next video.